Dr. Kat Schreier, WaterCitizen.com, getting ready for our new show, Water in Congress on Air. And I'm here with one of the newest members of the Water Citizen Advisory Council. When we become a 501c3, we're going to have this wonderful advisory council, some of the best people that I know in the water community. I have to stand on tippy toe here.
Hello, Kat. Would you like me to hold that?
I think I can get there. So, I don't know. I can't tell if I'm on camera. So anyway, I'll just hold it on you. But, we've actually talked before about citizens coming to Congress, and you're one of the best examples. We profiled you years ago for the Peace and Water in Congress program. Tell us about how you got involved in coming to Congress, and why, and what it's done for you.
Well, I got involved in this basically on the water quantity issue. We farm in the Central Great Plains over the Ogallala, and where we are using unsustainable amounts of water every year mined from the Ogallala to grow our federally subsidized crops. And so I was in this, started the hunt long ago, almost 2 decades ago now, for a crop that would use less water, that would be less impactful on the environment, negatively impactful on the environment, and something that would produce jobs in rural America. And throughout that journey, I've come to the conclusion that hemp was that crop that we should be focusing on. And so that has given us the opportunity now through a series of state initiatives that have started to legalize it at the state level and taking on the federal prohibition from the bottom up to give us an opportunity to really be talking about a new crop today, how we deal with not only water quantity issues, which is what got me started, but water quality issues as well. So whether we're talking about the dead zone of the Gulf that's coming from runoff from corn and soybean production in the Midwest, or whether we're talking about the Chesapeake Bay in Maryland from the runoff from the poultry industry and corn farming as well, we have a crop that is a solution that at least provides us with some tools to help reverse that degradation of the water quality in those regions. So we're very excited that hemp can play is a multifaceted player in this drama that's playing out.
So where, obviously people can hear it's very noisy. Where are we right now? What's going on over here? I'm going to pan around.
Well, we now have 30 states in the United States that have legalized the production of industrial hemp in one way or another. But we still, at the end of the day, we have to have the federal prohibition removed. Industrial hemp is still today remains on the Controlled Substances Act as a Schedule I drug. Even though it was never Congress's intent to put it there, it ended up for a variety of reasons. And so we're here this year in a very focused manner to try to get federal prohibition lifted through 2 avenues. One, Senate Bill 134, and its companion in the House Bill 525, which is the Industrial Hemp Farming Act of 2016. And that act would effectively remove industrial hemp from the Controlled Substances Act and give it back to USDA so that it can manage this crop as it is a commodity crop and not a drug.
Now, so are there specific associations or collection associations that are here visiting congressional offices, or who's running this show?
Well, this today it was hosted by Congressman Jared Polis, who's been a real champion for us in Congress. What you see here today is a collection of companies that are in the business today and advocacy organizations. I happen to be the chair of the National Hemp Association, so we're one of the organizations here today.
What are you holding in your hand?
I'm holding in my hand a pair of hemp socks that was made by Enviro Textiles, one of the vendors here today that are based in Colorado. And as you see, we have food, feed, fiber, fuel products that come from this amazing plant, and we think it's time to bring it back to America's farms.
So anybody who is involved with, Congress handles everything. Any aspect of life for the American people is somehow addressed in Congress, right? So who gets to come to Congress to talk about these issues?
Well, it's basically it's grown organically from the bottom up. And we've started, again, this is...
The hemp or the people?
Well, well, we started with the people advocating for hemp at the state level. And this is really what our republic is about. Every good federal policy generally starts with a successful state policy. Colorado was the first state in our union to fully legalize industrial hemp as well. We're now approaching our third year of cultivation in the state. We're learning a lot about the industry. The federal government, under direction by this White House, has been instructed to leave us alone and let us figure this out. And so we really are in Colorado ground zero for in this movement. Kentucky is doing some really great work as well. So I would say right now Colorado and Kentucky are the two most advanced states as far as where we're going, how we're going to set the regulatory process, how we're going to support our farmers, how we're going to build a new industry in rural America.
Now, where are the greatest challenges occurring around the country?
Well, the challenges are still the embedded myths about cannabis, what it is, what it isn't, the old reefer madness mindset that the myths have existed for so long and been repeated so often. They've basically become institutionalized in our bureaucracies. And so what we have to do is really bust. We have to bust seven decades, almost 8 decades now of lies.
Are there any examples of states that really make it challenging for hemp growers?
I would say it's, generally speaking, once you have the opportunity to really sit down and discuss with the policymakers and the power brokers in those states what hemp can and can't, what hemp isn't, what it can do, that I think we have I'd say a perfect track record so far in moving that state toward legalization. We have 20 more to go, and so
that means you've got 30.
There are 30 states today, as we speak, who have legalized the production of industrial hemp at some level. Some of them just at a small scale research and development level with a land grant university, and some of them at full scale commercialization.
Yeah. And local citizens can get involved at any point in the process, right?
Absolutely.
And they can stay informed by watching Water in Congress on air.
Yes, they absolutely can.
We will have a show.
Keep up the good work. I mean, this is both water quality and water quantity. This water, every component of our water cycle is important, that we have to stay on top of it, and we're a component of that cycle, and we're part of the solution.
Thank you very much.